This channel is all about becoming your greatest version and living your best life. And every single week, Deep Divers, we take a deep dive into everything that's happening in the Matrix. And breaking news just in, Deep Divers, Virginia Giuffre, Jeffrey Epstein's accuser, has just taken her own life. This is crazy. And it's a sad affair when anyone takes their own life. But a lot of people are saying there might be more to the story. Deep Divers, let's take a deep dive. I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you support the real. Hit that like button if you support the real, Deep Divers, because we got a whole lot to talk about. Let's go. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Deep Divers, I woke up like this, all magical and fly, just whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby, raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration. I feel so much better now. Sending you tons of good ass energy, Deep Divers. Take that, take that, take that. Take all of that good ass energy the cat down the road is sending to you, because the cat down the road said you need it, Deep Divers. Look, Virginia Giuffre, Jeffrey Epstein's accuser, and also Prince Andrew's accuser, has just taken her own life at 41. Breaking news just in. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Because Virginia Giuffre was very outspoken against Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, and she was going to court. I remember like the news stories on her, and she was always in the headlines, like, and now she's just passed away. Deep Divers, let's take a deep dive. But first and foremost, if you are watching this video, this is your confirmation something magical is coming your way. If you're ready for that, just say thank you. Now, Deep Divers, I always tell you, in becoming your greatest version, a key word is discernment, which is the ability to judge well. When I first heard this story, which is today, I'm like, oh, that's strange, because there was a news story floating around that Virginia Giuffre was in a car accident, and I'm like, oh, that's strange as well. And now she's just taken her own life. That's strange. And of course, condolences to her family. But a lot of people are like, something doesn't seem right. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? And I'm one of those people, Deep Divers, because you see, Virginia Giuffre was Jeffrey Epstein's accuser, and Jeffrey Epstein was very powerful person, because he was connected to heads of state. And a lot of people are asking themselves, like, where is the Epstein list? Like, where are all of those people who are on those planes? All of a sudden, shh, be quiet, it doesn't matter. And this is the reason why I was very interested as a criminologist in this whole case, because Virginia Giuffre takes a lot of bravery to kind of go after these very powerful people. Takes a lot of bravery. And now the news just in, she's taken her own life. And I'm like, okay, this is very strange, because guess what else is happening on this day? It is the Pope's funeral. That's right. Now, is that just a coincidence? Or is that how it happened? Well, let me play you the news story first, Deep Divers, then we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you my take on this whole story. Let's go.
Virginia Giuffre, who accused Prince Andrew of sexual assault, has died. Her family say that she took her own life at her home in Australia. She was 41. Last month, it was reported she'd been in a serious car crash. She claimed disgraced financier Giuffre Epstein and...
Let me stop it right there, deep divers. So always pay attention to how the media report on Giuffre Epstein. She just said disgraced financier. She didn't say sexual predator, which he was, right? So always pay attention. Like a lot of these people, Giuffre Epsteins of the world, they're very powerful to the point where even the media just say they're a disgraced financier, not what they really are. So always pay attention to that, deep divers. Let's continue.
His friend Ghislaine Maxwell had trafficked her when she was 17. Prince Andrew denied all the accusations against him, but reached an out-of-court settlement with her in 2022. Katie Watson reports.
Virginia Giuffre was one of the most prominent accusers of Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced US financier accused of running a vast sex trafficking network. Giuffre claimed she was trafficked by him and forced to have sex with the Duke of York. This photo of them together, now infamous. Prince Andrew, though, has always denied the accusations. He reached an out-of-court settlement with her in 2022 that contained no admission of liability or apology. In an interview with Panorama in 2019, she stood by the accusations.
He knows what happened. I know what happened. And there's only one of us telling the truth.
So anytime you have someone, deep divers, that comes out and is going after these very powerful people, Jeffrey Epstein, people like that, they got to be careful, because these people are very powerful and it's just crazy, this story. Let's continue.
In a statement, Virginia Giuffre's family said she was a fierce warrior in the fight against sexual abuse and sex trafficking. She was the light that lifted so many survivors. In the end, the toll of abuse is so heavy that it became unbearable for Virginia to handle its weight. We know that she is with the angels. Born in the US, the 41-year-old had recently been living with...
And that's another thing. Like, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these people who have these massive court cases, they're going after these people like Jeffrey Epstein. The media were going at her, right? It's a lot of pressure. Let's continue.
With her children and husband close to Perth, but recent reports suggest the couple had split after 22 years of marriage. Earlier this month, she posted on Instagram to say that she'd been seriously injured in a car accident, which her family later said she had not intended to make public. Local police later disputed the severity of the crash. Western Australia police say they are not treating her death as suspicious. Katie, what?
Did you just hear that? The police are not treating her death as suspicious. So, on social media, on X, even on YouTube, on Rumble, a lot of people are saying this is very strange. Now, don't get it twisted. Some people do take their lives, and that's always a tragedy. But as well, there is sometimes more to the story, and you have to have discernment to become your greatest version. You have to question everything. Let's continue.
BBC News in Sydney.
I'd like to speak to our Sydney correspondent, Phil Mercer. Phil, what more have the family said?
We've had a pretty poignant statement from Virginia Giuffre's family saying that she was a heroic and courageous campaigner against sexual abuse, and that the stance that she took was a light that lifted the lives of survivors of abuse around the world. So we know that the police and the ambulance authorities in Western Australia were called to a home in the near Gabby area. This is to the north of Perth, the state capital of Western Australia, on Friday evening. And the authorities say that Ms. Giuffre was found there unresponsive, and that family statement saying that she had died by suicide, and that the weight of the abuse that her family say that she has suffered became too heavy, and in the end, for Ms. Giuffre, became unbearable.
But she very much became a figurehead, didn't she, for other survivors of abuse?
Yeah, she was a prominent, not only a prominent accuser of Jeffrey Epstein and his friends, the British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in prison for sex trafficking offences. She was also a prominent campaigner for the Me Too movement. She had alleged that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell had trafficked her to Britain's Prince Andrew when she was 17 years of age. Prince Andrew has always strenuously denied these allegations, but in
So she obviously knew a whole lot about powerful people in that whole circle with Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew. So question everything, deep divers.
2022, the Prince did reach an out-of-court settlement with Miss Giuffre. We don't know the specific details of that settlement, but clearly Virginia Giuffre suffering under the weight, according to her family, of the abuse that they say she suffered repeatedly in certain periods of her life.
Let me just stop it right there. A lot of these women who come out like Virginia Giuffre, and I do believe some of her story with Jeffrey Epstein, because Jeffrey Epstein was someone who you can just tell he was into those kind of things, right? But you got to remind yourself, like, when they come out like this, their life is always in danger, because you see, some people want to silence them. And it takes a lot of courage, because you got a lot of people saying, hey, she's lying, or she's not telling the truth, and it must not be easy at all. Let's continue.
And tell us more about this car accident. She said that she'd been seriously injured.
This was a post on Instagram in the last month or so, and these are just suppositions. But perhaps when you look into the details of that post online, it may give an indication of the fragility of her state of mind. Virginia Giuffre had said that she'd been involved in a very serious car accident to such a degree that she said online that she only had a few days to live. So there was enormous concern by the people close to her and other people about her physical and mental state. And what was interesting, that the police in Western Australia downplayed the severity of that accident, but of course her death will be investigated by the authorities in Western Australia. And once again, this is only supposition, but having an episode like that so public in the last few weeks ago does perhaps indicate the fragility of her mental state. And her family say that she fought this heroic fight against sexual abuse and took her life by suicide, and she was 41 years of age.
Phil, for the moment, thank you very much. Phil Mercer in Sydney.
So that was a story I wanted to play for you. So what do I think of this whole Virginia Giuffre, Jeffrey Epstein's accuser, taking her own life? Like, first and foremost, condolences to her family. I always tell you, deep divers, believe nothing of what you see and only half of what you hear. Slow motion this side. That is the recipe to becoming your greatest version, right? Now, Jeffrey Epstein was very powerful, and she was on that island. She saw a lot of things. A whole lot of things. Now, don't get it twisted. Some people do have mental health issues and do take their own lives. But this story, I've got a question mark. Like, something is not adding up. Here you see her pictured with Prince Andrew, and he was saying, actually, this did not happen. I'm just like, what is he doing in a picture with her to begin with? And Ghislaine Maxwell, who's in prison. That's strange, right? And she's going to court here, and she got a settlement of $500,000 from Epstein and an undisclosed amount from Prince Andrew. But I'm like, there is something very strange about this whole story. It seems like everyone associated with Jeffrey Epstein, who was on that island, is just vanishing into the abyss. And in becoming your greatest version, you got to remind yourself that, like, even what happened with Jeffrey Epstein, some people believe that actually he was taken out because, or he even still might be alive, right? Some people say that because the security cameras in his prison, they weren't working. Oh my gosh, right? Is that a coincidence? Or were they just not working on that day he was in it, where he allegedly took his own life? This is all very strange. And like I told you, I don't believe in coincidences. Today is a very important day in the Matrix because it's the Pope's funeral. You have President Trump there. You have heads of state there. And on this day, breaking news just in, Virginia Giuffre has taken her own life. Jeffrey Epstein's accuser, right? Also Prince Andrew's accuser. Now, what happens when you have the Pope's funeral? Everyone is going to be focused on that. And even though this story broke on the same day, a lot of people are not going to pay attention to this story. And the whole Epstein situation, the whole Epstein story is just going to vanish into the abyss. And a lot of people are still asking themselves, what happened to the Epstein list? Who are those very important people, celebrities, heads of state who are on that plane, who are on that island? A lot of people want to know. And we may never know. But when you have people who are key witnesses who are on that island, as a psychologist and criminologist, these people are very important because they hold the missing clues. If Virginia Giuffre had written a tell-all book or done more interviews, more would have come out. So once again, she was very brave for going after these very powerful people, but it did come at a price. And she's just taken her own life. She has just taken her own life. So I always tell you, deep divers, question everything. Believe nothing of what you see, only half of what you hear. Now, join the YouTube membership. If you want new videos that are going to help you become your greatest version, click join below this video. And I've just released a brand new Patreon video on the law of attraction today. Join the new Ralph Smart Patreon page, deep divers, for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/Ralph Smart Deep Divers. Click the link down below and become your greatest version. And go and get the brand new book, Feel Alive 2. Unlock Your Infinite Power by Ralph Smart. Their secret recipe to becoming your greatest version. Now available on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the book. Click the link down below, deep divers. You're going to love it. It is 500 pages and the Bible of becoming your greatest version. And go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts. All new designs you're going to love for men, women, children, even cats down the road at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you're a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart, you want to model the clothing? Well, go and buy some. And if you want a one-to-one consultation with me so I can help you become your greatest version, make sure you book it at ralphsmart.com/one-to-one sessions. Deep divers, question everything. That's why I'm just saying. Feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Let's breathe. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Hit that like button right now, deep divers, if you're ready to become your greatest version. Share the video, subscribe to the channel. Once again, hit that like button right now if you're ready to question everything. Because strange things are happening. Question everything. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Once again, deep divers, hit that like button right now if you support the real. Share this video with someone, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation, deep divers. One. Peace.